There has been this general misconception that cartoons, especially those produced in America, were tailored exclusively for children, but on the contrary, it's further from the truth. Since the early days of Bugs Bunny and Disney, there were plenty of adult content that managed to find its way within American cartoons, be it subtle or just blatant. With the advent of Saturday morning cartoons during the 60s and 70s, the FCC implemented guidelines, i.e., regulations when it came to violence, and of course, major animation studios such as Filmation and Hanna-Barbera adhered to these policies and dialed down any violent content that would be considered harmful to a child's mental development. As a result, there were ghouls and monsters, or what was supposed to be monsters, chasing down a bunch of teenagers and their mascot doggy with songs being played in the background. But ruh-roh, Raggy! Somewhere within the Pacific, Japan was laughing at American animation to an extent. Despite being inspired by Hanna-Barbera and Disney, they managed to do their own thing without any guidelines or restrictions. However, there was a gradual shift that began in the early 80s thanks to syndicated produced animation. There were no boundaries as television studios had free rein to unleash material that would be suitable for both children and young adults who are invested in animation. Despite these cartoons bearing similar tropes like your standard good versus evil slugfest, there were a handful of episodes which dared to deviate from the conventional norms by adding cryptic, terrifying stories to the mix, courtesy of clever writing and creative imagination.